Hello everybody, Christopher Beast here, and in today's video we are doing pistols ranked. Not too long ago I did a video covering the machine guns in this game, and I figured I may as well do one more of these before we get to the new season. So by pistols I mean anything the game categorizes as a pistol, which would be all of your normal, stereotypical pistols, and your revolvers. I will be doing the revolvers and the pistols in separate parts of this video, and I'll have a timestamp in the description that can just jump you to that part of the video. So let's just get straight into this. Starting off with the definitively worst regular pistol in the game, we have the PM. This baby costs 7 shots to body to kill. 7! And 2 shots to head. Its rate of fire is nothing impressive, and neither is its capacity. This gun is all round horrible. There is no redeeming qualities of it, as its cost is around the same as the rest of the pistols. And besides the fact that it's the most common pistol you'll find, there's really no reason to run this weapon. It's bad. Like, laughably bad. But everybody already knows that, as the PM is jokingly thrown around as, the trash weapon of the game, and it's kind of meant to fulfill that job as the trash weapon of the game. But moving on from there, we have the next weapon. Next up is the Luger. The Luger is a very decent pistol. Pistols are horrible. Pistols are almost unusable. But if you have to use the pistol, the Luger isn't bad. So why is it this low in the list? Well, precisely because it's tied with the next member of the list. Like, perfectly tied with them. And when I was debating between the next member on the list and this one, it all boiled down to iron sights. The Luger's iron sights are just not very good. They're quite bad, to be honest. And since the two guns perform almost identical in third person, that's what boiled it down to it. Alright, so moving on to our next gun, I'm sure a lot of you were able to guess it, we have the 1911. The 1911 stat-wise is very similar to the Luger, and its only real difference is its aim-down sights. This gun, though, is a tank. It's really a good pistol, but I say that with a lot of salt. Like, not just a grain, I'm talking like a bucket of salt, because pistols aren't very good. Like, being a good pistol doesn't mean a lot, because it still has a 5-shot kill, very slow rate of fire, and very minimal usability as a weapon. It's just bad. Pistols are just bad. But if we get past the whole, pistols are just bad part, the 1911 is pretty cool in design, and its first person works relatively well. So that gets it the number 2 slot on this video. Getting to our final gun, we have the PSS. And while the PSS is definitely not a good gun, it definitely has a lot going for it compared to its other pistols. This baby is silenced, and this baby does a lot faster TTK than the other two. Looking at a nice, reasonable 3-shot kill as opposed to the 5-shot and 7-shot kills of the other pistols, this thing is somewhat actually usable. And if you add the fact that it's silenced, things get a lot more interesting. A silenced pistol may allow you to get a couple more extra shots in before any other type of weapon category player aims at you and blows your head off. Maybe. Now, again, take that with a lot of salt. It was kind of hard putting the PSS as number 1, though, because of cost. This thing costs a lot, and there are much better guns you can buy for the amount of materials this thing costs. But at the end of the day, if you're comparing pistols, this thing just is the best, even with prices included. Because pistols aren't very good. So, from there, we now get into the category of pistols that are actually good, which are revolvers, and there are 2 of them. For this video, I worked really hard to try to come up with a solid difference, not solid difference, a solid ranking between the 2 revolvers, but I can't do it. I really think they're tied in all manners. So I will just talk about why I think they're tied for each gun, and let's just get right into this. First, we have the Combat Revolver. This is a 2-shot 357 Magnum beast that has a pretty fast rate of fire and decent stagger. And while it's really good as a weapon, it has noticeably more bloom than its counterpart, and I'll get into the damage part when we get to the SWSH. This thing is a very good weapon, though, and it's arguably actually usable in firefights, something that every other weapon in the pistol category besides the other revolver can't say. I really like revolvers as a category, and I wish they would add more, but I do have the hard question of what other revolvers can you add to this game that would actually be different than the existing ones. And if you guys have any ideas for that, I would love to hear them in the comments. But let's wrap this video up and get to the final revolver of the game, the SWSH. The SWSH is tied despite its increased costs due to its increased damage. And while yes, they're both 2-shots, the SWSH, if the combat revolver is a 2-shot because it's like, I don't know, 51 or 53 damage, in actuality, I mean, ignoring the damage stat because the damage stat is always wrong, the SWSH is more like a 95. You're not going to be killing with 1 shot, but you're going to be getting very close to killing. It's so close, in fact, that almost every other gun in the game can finish the deed from there. The SWSH also has decent stagger and decent bloom reduction and range, which make it all in all a pretty usable gun for its cost. I know some people might be disagreeing with me because it costs so much more than the Combat Magnum to say that, well, because it does 95 damage instead of 51, it doesn't really deserve this much, of an uptick on the list. But personally, I think they're tied. I think they're supposed to be tied. And I feel like maybe in the future, I know this is a weird thing to do for a tier list about now, but I feel like in the future that tie is going to become even more apparent. I don't know. You guys are fully free to disagree with me, but that's just my opinion. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This has been Christopher Beast, and I won't be making any more, weapon tier lists until we get to the new season. I want to see what new guns we have, and I don't really like making the same video more than once, and if we get a new pistol or a new LMG, I'm going to have to, which isn't going to be fun for me. So I'd rather not make more of these lists and have a higher chance of having to redo my videos if I don't have to. But if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, drop some likes, and some comments. I love reading your guys' comments there. They always interest me. I get a good enjoyment out of them. But until next time, this has been Christopher Beast. I'll see you all next time.